People, Deluded, I'm back again. Now, Reiss Nelson, obviously he's playing for England's under-21s. And to be honest, I don't know what the topic of this video is. I've got a couple things. Firstly, if I put myself in Reiss Nelson's shoes, regardless of who you... Personally, I don't know who's better. I think if you compare Callum Hudson-Odoi, Reiss Nelson and Jadon Sancho, I think they're all ballers in it. I think Sancho, he's excited me since the first time I saw him at Watford. I feel he's so unpredictable. I feel Callum Hudson-Odoi is a bad boy footballer. He's a breathtaking individual, man. And the rise he's made, I've seen him personally make, playing for under-17s for England. Obviously ripping Arsenal with the FA Youth Cup and doing his dirt there. Playing for Chelsea, and obviously now in a couple of, just over a year or so, under-17s all the way up to first team level. To see that sort of rise for me, I love it, man. Reiss Nelson, again, I don't know who is better out of all three of them. Reiss Nelson, I love him. He's an Arsenal man. I've watched him week in, week out do dirt. I think Sancho's the one ahead. I think Callum Hudson-Odoi actually excites me the most. Just if, I don't know, man, if he had the amount of appearances that Sancho's had for Dortmund, where would he be? And equally, Nelson. I think Nelson's behind out of all three of them because the two have kicked on. Sancho's clearly the better out of all three of them at the moment in time in terms of development, playing week in, week out for Dortmund. He actually looks stronger in my opinion as well in draws and shielding it and stuff like that. Nelson's made progress and so has Callum Hudson-Odoi, but neither, if we're honest with ourselves, played enough to really come on heaps and bounds. Either way, I'm excited for all three of them, to be fair, because I believe... I don't think Sancho should play in the under-21s for England in the summer. I think I see the benefits for him personally, but I think he's left that level. Give that opportunity to someone else. But the other two, I'd like to see them play. It's a bit political for Callum Hudson-Odoi because he might be sorting out a new move if he does leave Chelsea, and he might want to do his thing and take a break and stuff like that. I'm not too sure. Sancho's been playing week in, week out for Dortmund. He's played at full England international, so I don't think there's a need for him to play. Obviously, you can say he could be a senior player within them ranks there, but I think more people would be served. I think you look at Nelson as well, but definitely right now, Sancho, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and I believe Phil Foden should have been in this team. You're looking at next year, we've got Euro 2020, beyond that 22 World Cup. These are the sort of man, for me, you play week in, week out at international level. Obviously not week in, week out. You let them play together. They've come up, well, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Foden and Sancho have all played together in England. You let them continue that at full international. You let them get all the cobwebs out, all the the nervousness that comes with making your England debut. Allow them to get all of that stuff out and get some experience to move into the new era that we're going into. Obviously, there's an argument to just slap all of them at under-21s and let them do their dirt. But how must Nelson, like... I don't know, man. If I put myself in Nelson's thoughts, obviously he's good friends with Callum Hudson-Odoi and Jadon Sancho, and he wants them to do their best, and it's not a jealousy thing or envy thing, but he's got to be thinking, like him and Jadon Sancho, they say they push each other. They say they push each other, so they must be there, all three of them, like, yeah, man, Nelson, it's your time. Or Nelson must be sitting there like, I want some of that, man. I want an England cap. I want to score for England. I want to assist for England. I want some of what they've got, sort of thing. I'm hungry for this. And when you look at his season... It's been a difficult season. It started off very well. He's dipped a bit. He's not really in the side now. I know he's come back into the match day squad now. He was dropped for disciplinary reasons. It's now come out he was 20 minutes late to training. Now, late things happen. People are late. I'm guaranteed he's been on time the majority of training sessions, but he was late. Rules are rules. You've got to be a professional, you know, especially being late to meet a German or a German team's a very bad sin, because I always tell you, look, Germans are very meticulous with their planning. They time things like clockwork. So 20 minutes might as well be 2 days in their book. So it's good that he was fined. I don't know if it was fined. I didn't mean to say fine, but pulled up on that. He's handled his thing like a grown man. The conflict has been resolved and he's back in this side. But it's been a testing season. It's been a testing season for Callum. Obviously he's playing for England at the moment right now, and you're hoping that Sorry stops being stubborn and he sees what we all see in that Willian and Pedro, they've not been performing to the level to deserve to start ahead of Callum Hudson-Odoi. Callum Hudson-Odoi is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be a black Eden Hazard. He's going to be hot and cold, but he's developing. He gives fans excitement. He's not playing. Can't do any worse than the players that have been there. He wants to play, so his performance levels are going to be there. A couple of them players there probably going to get out of Chelsea. He just wants to play football, sort of thing. Hopefully with the England cap, there's a bit more pressure on Sarri, of course, as well, with the whole moving to Bayern Munich thing. He's now got his England cap. It only intensifies rumours of not wanting to sit on the bench and things. So hopefully he gets a start. For Nelson, obviously, the first topic is to get in the first team again for Hoffenheim, starting week in, week out. Then you can talk about England. Obviously, people will look at Sancho. For how long were we calling for Sancho to go for England? I wanted him to go World Cup. It didn't happen. He had to wait. Ryan Sessegnon still had to wait. And to be honest, since he's been in the Premier League, I don't think he's at the level. Maitland-Niles, in my opinion, would have a cap, but he's been playing at fullback. You look at the competition at fullback, he's not better than as a right back. He's not better than, I think he's better than Trippier, because Trippier's been playing poor at the moment, but he's not a better option to Southgate than Trippier. Wan-Bissaka's not in the side, but he'd probably be ahead of him. You've got Trent, you've got Walker, these sort of things there. He's not been playing in central mid now. Henderson's there because he's a good captain, he's a good leader, but Henderson and Dyer, when they play together, it kills our fluidity. I feel Southgate has to go and look about fixing that. So that's for Maitland-Niles. I feel Rob Holding's got to feel unlucky, because if he wasn't injured, I've been calling for the last 2-3 years, however long he's been here for England. You lot have seen me with the vids. I think if he wasn't injured, it might have been him who scored that header for instead of Michael Keane. Callum Chambers, of course, centre-half, he's not going to get a look in, but on the basis he's been doing all right in midfield, he might feel unlucky not to have been given a look in, considering Southgate knows the sort of man you are. I'm reaching with that. But back to Nelson. You've got to use this to fire you, man, because he's got to be looking at his friends. And I'm not saying people don't look at people's situations and are jealous and things. I'm not saying Nelson's jealous, but he might be looking at it, it's like, oh, man, my age mates are making progress. Like, Callum's going to probably start playing for Chelsea. He's played for England. Jadon Sancho's doing this thing. And what am I doing? I'm not even getting in the team, sort of thing. And he's probably, obviously, comparisons are a thief of joy, because he's come a long way, to be honest with you. He had a good start to the season. He's still developed. But when you're seeing the progress other people have made, you're looking at yourself. You're thinking, have I really made progress? Am I really good enough? Am I wasting time, sort of thing? Do you see? You not know what I'm getting at with that. So he's just got to be, if I was him, I'd be looking at it as like pre-season, whether it's at on loan again, or it's at another team, or if it's at Arsenal, I'm getting in that England side. I'm getting in it. Now, it's very subjective, as you would be with Southgate, because for some players he's selected, you would say they've barely been playing. Some people haven't played. Some people aren't good enough. You'll always bend the rules for players you like. Southgate, what? Southgate said that, not word for word, but what did he say? More or less, Grealish needs to be playing in the Premier League, for example, to get a look in the England national team. But didn't he call up, obviously he's not done it again, but didn't he call up Mason Mount? He clearly likes Mount, and Mount's someone he's got his eye on, and he's probably hoping he plays Premier League next season. But you see how the rules can be changed. Callum Hudson-Odoi, if we're honest with ourselves, I think he's good enough to play, and I think he's, like I said, he's one of them you put your hand on or your arm on to bring in for future plans, but he hasn't played that much. People could say the same. As much as I would have done the same thing Southgate's done. You see how the rules are subjective. Like, to be honest with you, I deep the other day that all of this playing regularly on a regular basis is all irrelevant if the manager likes you. Look at Giroud. Now, Giroud had a good World Cup. It's sad because it won't be remembered. He didn't score, barely had any shots on target. But you look at what he did when he came into the French side and how he allowed Mbappe to move out wide. He got the best out of Griezmann and things like that. He was central. He was central to Deschamps' sort of plans. Deschamps likes him. He barely played last season, more or less. That's why he left to Arsenal. He barely played. He barely's playing for Chelsea. He's still getting called up over someone. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan, but Lacazette. Why? Because he gives France something that Lacazette can't. The hold-up play. Lacazette might be a better player. In fact, Lacazette probably should be in the squad as well, on the basis of how some of the attacking talents underwhelmed. But do you see where I'm going? It's all subjective and it's all opinions. I think Nelson's good enough to get in the team if he keeps it up, man. He can play in the 10, he can play on either flanks. He's an exciting player like the rest. To be honest, just by having a bigger talent pool would be good for us. And then you're looking at the likes of, for me, Emil Rose-Smith, it's a long time away, but the desire is there, the balance is there if you keep going. For me, the next one from Arsenal that gets called up has to be Rob Holding. Southgate knows him. Southgate's worked with him at under-21s level. There's not much you can do. He's been injured. If he weren't injured, I think he'd be in the team. But that's just me saying ifs and buts. I don't know that to be fact. But if I was Nelson, I'll be looking at them and thinking, like, what's going to happen to me? Like, what's happening? And I think Nelson's going to come through. I think Nelson's going to see them lot there and use it to fuel him and think, I can do that too, man. Or if he did have any, I don't think he did because of the people around him and how he is, but if he did have any bit of complacency, I thought, yeah, man, I'm doing all right. Reiss Nelson playing Bundesliga, Arsenal loanee, I'm doing all right. If he's seen them there, he's going to get a kick up the bum. For me, though, I think Foden should be in the team, though. I've gone left and right with all of this, but I think Foden should be in the team. I think Foden's an anomaly. Is he playing on a regular basis for Manchester City? If we're honest with ourselves, no. He's getting the odd 20 minutes or when the game's done, or cup games against weaker, inferior opposition. But I think, for first and foremost, how many players are going to try and play a forward pass like him consistently? The only thing he's lacking is experience. For me, I'm not trying to go into the next competition with no disrespect to Henderson and Dyer, because I'll have them in our squads, but them two together is going to kill us. It's going to kill us. There's no fluidity. So we need to do certain things, and I feel, regardless of what you think about someone like Lingard, Dele Alli, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and the rest of it, Sterling, Kane, these are the sort of man that you've got to enable to thrive, because they all got good movement. Kane comes and drops to 10, and everyone saw Kane's pass, what was it, for Sterling's goal the other day? Kane does that all the time for Spurs. So, like, enabling him to do that, enabling Lingard and Dele Alli to make runs, because they've, in the English squad, they've probably got the two best movement of any players in that side, probably excluding Kane and Wilson, because they are strikers, but you get the point that I'm trying to allude to. But if I was Reiss Nelson, I would use Sancho and Callum Hudson-Odoi as pure motivation and thinking, yeah, all right, cool, it's Euro 2020 next year. I want to be involved in that possibly. I want to be in the squad with Sterling and all of these, man. I want to give Southgate a headache and think, how can you leave me out? The same goes for Grealish as well, because Grealish, very good chance he's playing Premier League football. Probably with I don't know the promotion table, the Championship table at this moment, but either with Villa or somewhere else. Spurs were on his case last year and it looked like he wanted to go, but it didn't happen. So we'll see, innit? But Reiss Nelson, keep your head up, man. And yeah, man, keep your head up. It will happen, man. You see him playing for under 21s. You see him get that good assist. So it will happen if he continues it, man. So on that note, I've got nothing more to add on that. So I'm going to keep it moving, people. It's 7:30. Need to keep it moving. People, deluded. Stay safe. I'm out.